These shards are the oldest ceramics collected at the Shanghai Museum, dating back to around 20,000 years ago, excavated in the Shenrundong Cave, Wanyang County, Jiangxi Province. Potteries came into existence way before porcelains. This is closely related to the rise of crop farming. Meat could be directly roasted over fire, but to cook crops, containers were required. In the late Paleolithic age, potteries came into being when the ancient Chinese discovered that clay with fantastic plasticity could be hardened after being burnt in fire. This discovery partially marked the beginning of the Neolithic era, the dawn of civilization. In the gallery, potteries have their distinctive regional features. This pot is almost 6,000 years old. It is one of the earliest types of painted potteries in the upper reach of the Yellow River. It belongs to the Shilingsha type of the Maojiao culture. The painting skill is quite mature. The features, eyes and wings, are highly abstract. The pattern is unsophisticated and vivid, yet surprisingly modern. In the lower reach of the Yangtze River, the Songze culture and the Liangzhu culture both stand out for their black potteries, but their techniques are different. This jar from the Songze culture has a special shape. More than 5,000 years ago, an artisan carefully incised beautiful patterns on it. Its identifiable blackish surface is formed by absorbing the black smoke generated in the kiln during firing. This jar from the Liangzhu culture has a shiny black surface and a lid with a slim tube. Its foot rim has triangle and oval shapes in open work. The manufacturing techniques were quite limited more than 5,000 years ago, but our ancestors never ceased to pursue art and beauty in their lives. Potteries were used for everything in the ancient Chinese lives, for cooking, fetching water, storing food, and for funerals. As pottery's importance grew, its disadvantages, such as roughness, porosity, and fragility, drove the invention of primitive porcelain, which was harder and finer. The primitive porcelain was born around 3,000 years ago and was widely produced before the Western Han Dynasty. This Celadon Zun from the Shang Dynasty imitates its bronze counterpart of its time. It is coated with glaze, both inside and outside, still glossy even today. It is a signature of early Celadon made in the Shang Dynasty. Mature Celadon was manufactured around the 1st century. This Celadon pot from the Eastern Han Dynasty has a band of string pattern on its shoulder, 2 rings on opposite sides, and a cloth pattern on its body. The greenish-yellow glaze is quite thin, covering its surface while its bottom is bare. Traces of dropping glaze are visible. It is one of the examples with elegant simplicity and gentleness. The rise and fall of social norms in the Han Dynasty and the 6 dynasties are encapsulated in contemporary ceramics, some of which are our important collections. In the Han Dynasty, the belief in the afterlife led to the fashion of lavish burials. Thus we see a multitude of glazed potteries for burial, including animal statuettes, utensils, and jars for souls to rest. Ceramics from the Jin Dynasty show influences from literati who were pursuing a metaphysical world and an artful life. This is a cosmetic box from the Western Jin Dynasty. The Buddha decoration on its body is by far the earliest Buddhist image on ceramics. The production of ceramics matured in the Western Jin Dynasty when daily utensils dominated the industry. The celadon pot has a chicken-headed sprout. It is a popular type back in the Jin dynasty. Only after the Sui dynasty that this kind of pot became rarely seen. In the Eastern Jin dynasty, this kind of waterware was often decorated with paint splash, regarded as a prelude to polychrome painted ceramics. The brown speckles appear on the rim, joints, and the chicken head. The brown paint contrasts with the greenish glaze, adding vividness to the pot.